Hello YouTube, this is GamerBoy and I'm back. I am going to film a video on the arcade emulator Stella, which it's not an arcade emulator, it's an Atari emulator. It emulates the Atari consoles. So let me begin. The first thing you want to do is go to Google. And I always go to Google using a web browser. I use Google Chrome, so click on Google Chrome and then go to Google. And what's going to happen is you need to search for Atari emulator. The very first one that pops up is Stella, but we are actually going to go down to Emu Paradise because that's usually the spot that pops up, and I go there usually when I do a Google search. So what you're going to notice when you click on this, there's several different emulators for the Atari because there were several different consoles. So I'm just going to show you. There's the Atari 2600, the Atari 5200, and the Atari 7800. Today, I'm only going to download the Atari 2600. So, when you click on this link, what you're going to notice is there are several different Atari. Well, that was under the ROMs, but we're actually going to look at the emulator. So this is an emulator for the Atari 2600. So we've got several options, and we're going to download the platform for Windows. So we're going to be installing this on a Windows 64-bit 8.1 machine. So we would select that. And these are our options for the Atari 2600 for emulators. I would recommend that you download the Stella 3.4.1 Windows 64 version because I think it's the best one, and it's got a pretty bad user rating. It's 3.04 out of 5 by 25 users, but I'm going to set this up for you so that it will work well, and you will see why some people have a problem with it. So, but I'm going to help you set it up so that it works and explain it so that it works perfectly. So you click on this Stella 3.4.1 Win64 and double click on that, and it will download the file, the zip file, into your download folder. So once you do that, what you will want to do is go to your Windows icon in your taskbar and right click it, and then you're going to want to click on File Explorer. In File Explorer, you can see your download folder. So what you would do is double click on your downloads folder and then find that zip for the Stella emulator you just downloaded, and once you open up this downloads window, you would drag that and drop it on the desktop, and that will be a zipped file. So the next thing we're going to do is you need to create a folder on your desktop called Online Gaming, and in this folder you are going to put and create an additional folder for all of the different systems that you want to emulate. So you're going to create a folder for the Atari 2600, and then you'll double click on it, and then within this folder you're going to create two more folders. You're going to create an emulator folder and a ROMs folder. So you are going to drag the emulator, the zip file you just downloaded from the desktop, and you're going to drop it in your emulator folder. And when you do, you're going to have a zip file in here, and what you're going to have to do in Windows 8.1, you can click on the zip file, and what it is, it'll have a little zip here. It'll be zipped up. You left click on it once, and then up here you're going to have an option to extract it, and you're going to click extract, and then you're going to click extract all, and then you're going to be prompted to select the location. It's going to give you the default location to be back in the folder that you clicked on for the zip folder, and that's where you want it to be unzipped. So then you'll click on OK, and then you're going to have this here. You're going to have this application, and it's unzipped, and this is what it's going to look like. And then you're going to double click on the Stella folder, and this right here is actually what you're going to be concerned with, because it's the application. So this is actually the emulator. But you do not want to drag it out of this folder, because then it won't work, because these things here need to stay with it. But what you can do is you can right click on it, and you can pin it to the taskbar, pin it to start. I have it pinned to the taskbar, and you can add it to the start menu. So in order to start the emulator now, the only thing you have to do is either double click on this or double click on the icon in the taskbar. So we'll do that. But well, before we do that, let's go ahead and get a ROM. So now that we've got the emulator, the next thing you want to do is go back to Google Chrome, and you want to go back and you want to go to look at the ROMs. So we're actually going to go to the Atari 2600 ROMs, and you can download these by different ways. You can download them by their title, being numbers or alphabetic characters, or you can download it by all titles, or you can look at the titles that's sorted by user ratings or sorted by downloads. So, and for instance, R, we'll click on R, and from R, we can go down to River Raid, which was developed by Carol Shaw. And you double click on this, and what's going to happen is it's going to pop up, and you can see some information. They rate as 4.49 out of 5 with 192 votes. And what you do is go down here, and you would double click on this, and it will download the game, and it will download into your download folder. So once you've done that and it pops up and the download is complete, then what you will do is you will go and right click on the Windows icon, and then left click on File Explorer, and then go to your downloads folder, double click on this and find River Raid, which is going to be a zip file, and you're going to drag it from this download window when it pops up onto the desktop and drop it. And then once you've done that, you go back into your online gaming folder. So I'll just close this if you just still don't have it up, and then you go to Atari and you go to ROMs, and for here I've already got R numbers, so here you would drag that and you drop it in the R, because when you create the ROMs folder, you also want to create a folder for every ROM, whether it be the numbers or the alphabetic characters. So you want a whole folder for every one of those for all the games, so that you can keep them organized. So and under R, we're going to drop it, and that's where River Raid is going to exist. So now that we've dropped that in there, and you'll have to unzip it, so it's going to be a zip file. So once it's zipped, it's going to have a little zipper on it, and you're going to have the option up here to extract it, and you click on extract and extract all, and then you select the folder that you want the extracted version to be dropped, and you click on, and it's usually the same folder that contains the zip file folder. So, and you don't change it, and then you click OK, and it's gonna you'll have the unzipped version available. So once you do that, we can go back to the emulator, and we can open it and double click on it. This is the Stella emulator. The emulator has several aspects that I would like to talk about. One, you select the directory for your ROMs here. That's what this main console window here is for. So what we want to do, since we drop ours on the desktop, is we'll click on desktop, and if you can't find it, if it's more difficult to find, it might be a file directory higher. So this button here takes you to a file directory higher. So for instance here, this is going to take you all the way to the top of the line. And what you'll do is click on your computer, and then you'll click on desktop. And Here it's under our online gaming folder, so we click on that and we click on the Atari 2600. And under the Atari 2600, under our ROMs folder is where our games are, and we're just going to go ahead and click on River Raid, and there we have it. But I want to talk a little bit about these buttons first. This go up means go up one level in the files. So if you click on that, it's going to go up to the R's. This right here is going to select this game for play. Under your options, you've got video settings, audio settings, input settings, etc. I would not suggest that you change any of these. Just leave them alone, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. So then you're going to exit this menu, and then there's a quit option. So we're going to go ahead and select this. So it's going to start. This emulator is a little finicky, and I'm going to tell you, the one thing that bothers people more than anything is that the button that helps you control this on your keyboard initially is called the backslash pipe button. It's typically located above enter. You click it. It's going to open up another set of buttons, a palette of buttons with options. Here, I'm going to talk about this a little bit. So there again, in order to open this, you click the backslash pipe button that's typically located above enter on the keyboard. So select is going to allow you to change the number of players. So when you click select, that's going to change it to 2 players. Then you would have to select the pipe backslash button again and hit select to change it back to 1. And I hit it again. So that's what brings up this window. Okay, here you've got different options. You can change the color of the TV, black and white, etc. One of the cool things you can really do is you can do what's called saving states in state slots and loading states. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. But right now, in order to get this game to work, the only thing you're going to have to do is click this left button on reset and it will start. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is going to be it. This is going to start this game. And the buttons to control this, control is your active button, and left and right arrows go left and right, and the forward arrows speed you up, and the backward arrow slows you down. So here we are, and I'm not going to play it just enough to show you. So we're going to hit the pipe button again. Now, this is that really cool thing that I was talking about earlier. Where, and by the way, control is the button I was, just want to make sure you get this. Control is the button that is the action button, and you know, the arrows move left, right, and forward to go faster and back to slow down. So we're going to just go ahead and reset this. Now I'm using the mouse. I moved the mouse, so the mouse works for this, but it's terrible. As you can see, the mouse glitches and it makes it really difficult. And I'm just going to go ahead and crash out if I can. So you don't want to use the mouse on this. It's terrible. Hit the pipe. So when you click on reset, make sure the mouse button is not moving. Because if it is, then it's going to jerk and it's going to be terrible. And you can actually change it and set it up to where you don't use the mouse. But what I'm going to do is get a certain distance into the game, and then I'm going to click the pipe button, and then I'm going to click save state. Now what that does, I'll move the mouse, crash this out, hit the pipe button, go without moving the mouse. The mouse has, I'm going to load state. It starts us right back where we left off. See how cool that is? So what this does is it makes it possible for you to play a game, and whenever you think you're going to die, you can just do a save state and go straight back there. So we're going to save state. And we'll just move the mouse. Crash and burn. Crash and burn. Hit the pipe button. Go to load state. And then go from there. So you really never have to worry about dying on this game, unless you create a situation where you can't be saved. And any time that you reload it, you're dead, and you do not want to do that. That's not good. That's very bad, so don't do that. Well, anyway, so that's how the Stella emulator works. I'm going to escape out. So, and in our options, I'm going to click on options and show you something. In our inputs here, so under options and under input settings, this is going to tell you, you've got three basically options here for drop downs that contain different information, different different piece of information to help you play this game. So the first thing that this tells you is what buttons do what. So select button, you can click F1, reset F2, and you can go down through here and you can see if you want to play 2 players on this, and you can, okay, what you have to do is you have to look and see what are the button options for player 1, and what are the button, which would be P0, or for player 1, which would be player 2, and like joystick up is going to be Y for player 2. So, and you would have to go down here and look, and you can reassign these using reset and, you know, but I wouldn't recommend you do that. If you do, make sure it's distinctly different from player 1's controls. Because if you don't, then anytime player 1 hits a button, it's going to do the same for player 1 and player 2. So that's, you know, the thing about that. And all that information on all the buttons that you use will be listed here in this. And in your devices and ports. If you don't like the mouse doing all those crazy things that it was doing, you can click on the devices and ports, and you can change use mouse as a controller and grab mouse in emulation mode. You can change that and just click this X and click OK, and it will no longer function like that. And it's probably a good thing to do. So, and like I was saying, so if you two players, if you want to play 2-player games, what you're going to have to do is close this out. You cannot use multiple keyboards with Windows 8.1. So what you'd have to do is right click on Stella and go down to the properties. So go here and right click on this and go to the properties, go to compatibility, and you'd want to change the compatibility from Windows 8 to Windows 7, okay, and then you click apply and OK, and then the computer will recognize 2 different, either wireless, you can have wireless keyboards or wired keyboards. So then you can have 2 players playing on different keyboards. So, well, I'm GamerBoy. This is my tutorial on Stella, the Atari emulator. There's a lot of games. It's a lot of fun. You can go out there and play literally hundreds of games on this, and it's really awesome. And it gives you a peek into the you know, gaming history, like one of the first consoles that was widely distributed. It's really awesome. And if you please remember to like and subscribe to my videos so I can keep motivated to keep making videos. So yeah, have a lot of fun. Play those games. They're a lot of fun. Really simple, but it's amazing what they were able to accomplish back then. So this is GamerBoy, and peace.